Brethren, welcome to Crafted in the South, the official podcast for the province of Hampshire and Isle of Wight.
James, what do you mean, welcome to Crafted in the South? What does it even mean?
Well, as you know, for the last few months, we've had a competition going to give the podcast an official name. We had a number of entries that came in on the comments of this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we had some brethren who gave us some suggestions directly. We put that list together and we gave it to the provincial grandmaster, and he has chosen Crafted in the South to be the official name of the podcast. What I can't do is I can't tell you the name of the brother who suggested it, because he is asked to remain anonymous, but I know you're listening to this podcast. It was a fantastic suggestion, and your suggestion is the winning one.
Yeah.
So congratulations, brother.
I have to say, quite crafty, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's
All right.
That's not a good way to start, is it? Good Lord.
So what do we got on the table now, James?
Well,
Who are we having this episode?
we've got a fantastic episode lined up this month. We're going to be speaking to Morgan Tighe and Andy Blatch, who run the North Circular visiting group. We're going to hear from them in just a moment. But, you know, since we last met, Roddy, what's been going on for you? What's new in Freemasonry for you? We had a shared experience.
Yeah, we did.
Just recently, didn't we?
Oh, we both got exalted into the Royal Arch, and I have to say, my heart is filled. I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this for so long. I think, James, you've been waiting for it as long as I have. And also, I was just taken aback, of course, by the ritual, because I think it's quite special, by the queues to get in. Honestly, wow, what was that all about? And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that people are excited, but I was just like, wow, there are some cues here. So that tells you how important it is, and how many brethren just want to continue to the 4-step of Freemasonry, which I highly suggest you guys, if you are Master Masons. And remember, you only have to be 4 weeks a Master Mason to apply to the Royal Arch. I highly recommend it, and I joined the bestest, most amazingest chapter in the universe, Wolvesey, along with James. And James, what do you think about it?
It was an incredible ceremony, and it's nice to have gotten through the line of candidates who've been waiting to be exalted. The ceremony was incredible. The festive board was a real treat, different to anything I've ever experienced in Freemasonry.
Absolutely.
And other people who were there, other companions, are telling me that the way in which that festive board happens is unique to Wolvesey Lodge. You won't see an experience like, to Wolvesey chapter, I beg your pardon. You won't see a festive board like that almost anywhere else. So it's been wonderful to do it, and we are very grateful to the Most Excellent and his officers for putting a show on for us.
Absolutely. The camaraderie was on another level. There are so many more Masons that I hadn't met that are part of chapter. And since we are speaking of circular, add it to your list of circulating around Hampshire and Isle of Wight. Go to different chapters, because it is quite a unique and special experience. And with that, we're going to join Andy Blatch and Morgan Tighe to talk about their circulars around Hampshire and Isle of Wight.
Andy, Morgan, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. It's great to see you guys.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah, good afternoon.
What do you do?
My name's Morgan. What do I do? That's a good question. Myself and Andy run a visiting group across the North Central area called the North Circular.
Hi, I'm Andy. I work with Morgan on the North Circular, and we've also just started working on the Club for the Light Blues in the area as well, which we'll come on to, I'm sure. So as we go through the conversation.
So tell us what the North Circular is. How did it come about? What does it do? And for those listening who know nothing about it, how can they get involved?
It's basically it's a club for any Mason within the area. So there's not just the North Circular. There are other circulars in the other areas within the province too. But it's a free club. It's quite informal. You just ask to join. You join a mailing list. And you get invited along to visit loads of great lodges. It's just a way of expanding your experience of Masonry, meeting other Masons, and really getting to know who's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We visit the lodges in the North Central area, which, for those that don't know, are Eastleigh, Winchester, Chandlersford, Hursley included, Andover, and Basingstoke. There's 44 lodges across our area, and we just choose a different one each month, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 if we're feeling brave, and just take as many people as we want, as take as many people to sign up.
So are there other circular groups within the area of Hampshire and Isle of Wight?
Yeah, so off the top of my head, there's 4 main ones that come to mind. Obviously, there's us, the North Circular. There's the South Circular, which is led by a brother called Rob Connor. They're very successful across Southampton and Totton and Botley, Woolston. I think that's it, off the top of my head.
I think so.
Yeah. And then we've got Solent Circular, who do Fareham and Gosport. And then there is the Southwest Tourists, which operate over in the forest in like Bournemouth and Lymington and Brockenhurst and that. Yeah.
And how do you decide which lodges to visit in any given month? Are you just trying to get a geographic spread, or do you try to follow official visits, or how do you decide where to go?
Yeah, so we try not to go to the same centres like twice in a month, or each month after the next. We just try and visit each centre fairly, and lodges, because whenever something pops up that people are going to want to go to, because whether that's supporting a lodge or an official visit, it's just.
We're quite keen on going to initiations, because we want the group to be fairly inclusive. So, for those who are Masons on the call, you'll appreciate on the podcast, listening to the podcast, you'll appreciate the structure of Masonry. You've got different degrees in there, and you cannot attend meetings that are in a higher degree than that to which you're in. So if we go to initiations, it means anyone in the area can go. Also, it's great because they get to see the ceremony they've been through come from the sidelines. They get to see what happened to them. So we try and get to plenty of those.
And it also gives a bit of a buzz to the candidates that are coming in, because there are lodges in our province that don't have many members that if they're starting to initiate brethren again, it's perfect, because they are growing their lodge, but sometimes they're a bit low on the ground. So when we attend en masse, it just gives that lodge a little bit of boost, a bit more atmosphere, and everyone seems to enjoy it.
If I was on the flip side and I was a Mason, I thought my lodge was the best in the universe ever, and I need to go visit.
Well, you know that yours is, obviously.
Why do you want to go to the Circular? What makes it so special to go and visit other lodges?
That's a very good question. And, for me personally, I can talk about my own experiences.
Please do.
Visiting for me has been so, necessary in my Masonic journey. I use it for different reasons. One of them being ritual, like when you see ceremonies as many times as I have in the past couple of years doing the visiting group, I pick up the ritual very easily, and I'm quite blessed that when I'm learning it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know the next few sentences because I've heard it so many times.
Right.
But it's a perfect way to meet people across the area, in our case, that you're never going to meet in your centre, because there are people that do just visit within their centre. But if you come down to Winchester from Andover, or even down to Eastleigh, there's people there that you're never going to meet normally, and you meet all different people from all different backgrounds, and that's basically the best part of it, really, is you make lots of new friends.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Mason, we all join Masonry. You join your individual lodges, don't you? But we're actually joining a global organisation. Mm. And if you don't step outside the bounds of your lodge, you're not really going to see the benefit and the joy you can derive from that. Well, I think, as you're saying, Norb, I think we've met so many people via visiting. I was quite lucky. I was visiting really early on. I've now got a wide range of friends from all over the place who I would never have met.
I mean, case in point, Morgan, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, great. It's fantastic because you're sitting with older Masons, right? And that intergenerational aspect older Masons meaning my age, right? Because I am a young Mason compared to you.
You only look 27.
There is that component of just having the intergenerational experience, right? And that sharing, just making friends, which I think is very unique and important in Freemasonry, because I could just think of, being my age, I wouldn't really have an opportunity to meet either older guys or younger guys and really find out what's going on in their lives and, how to, just find out these things about life, not just about Freemasonry. I think that's what's the beauty about the circular. And I did meet you guys.
Yeah, totally.
On the circular runs, and it's very interesting. Personally, I am a Mason in Winchester, but I live in Southampton, and I never in 3 years gone to a lodge in Southampton. It was because of the South Circular, because of Rob. I went to my first meeting in Southampton at 40 Steps, which is awesome for me. It's iconic, that building, and it's just been really good. I met all these lads that live close by. And you live close by, but it was just really nice just to see a whole completely, what I would say, quote unquote, world for Freemasonry just on my doorstep. So I really highly recommend it as well. James, you're a prolific circular attendant.
I like to visit. I mean, I certainly there are certainly Masons who every time I visit they are there. So there are Masons who are far more prolific visitors than I, and Morgan and Andy, you certainly fall into that category. But I agree. It's every time you go to a meeting at the festive board, whoever's giving the toast to the visitors, or when the junior warden's giving the toast to the visitors, inevitably they'll say something like, one of the undoubted joys of Freemasonry is visiting, and you hear it time and time again. But it's absolutely true. When if you get into a routine of visiting, you can meet a real breadth of people and personalities and Masonic experiences that you wouldn't get within your own lodge, because no lodge, no matter what kind of lodge it is, and no matter how many members they've got, will have representatives from all parts of life. You have to, if you want to get the most you can get from Freemasonry, you need to go out and meet other Freemasons that have had experiences outside your own. And the North Circular, I think, is a fantastic vehicle for allowing us to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you get a real sense of scale and scope as well. Within your own lodge, we've all been there. You've got lodges that may have 20 to 30 members.
Yes.
You have some meetings you might get 70 to 80, but by joining something broader than just your lodge, you've got a chance of doing so much more, like social events and so on. You can actually hook up with way more people. Your own lodge might be quite limited as to what they do, but for instance, take the Light Blues now that we're starting working with. We're planning some events for next year where we're looking at doing, say, a trip to a vineyard, like hiring a coach and getting a whole bunch of people along, whereas as an individual lodge you may not get the numbers and the scale to do those sorts of events. So I think by visiting and reaching out and building that network, the opportunities are way, way bigger.
And how do you think the visiting experience and maybe the work of groups like North Circular can be expanded away from craft lodges into the various side orders? So as you'll know, a few weeks ago, Roddy and I were exalted into Wolsey chapter, which, for the avoidance of doubt, is the greatest chapter in the universe. There is no question, absolutely no question.
Please don't move that from the podcast.
But as far as I'm aware, there is no visiting group for chapter. I mean, perhaps there is. I've only ever been to one chapter meeting, and it was the exaltation, so I don't know. But is there an opportunity to expand the work of North Circular into chapters and other side orders?
That's a great idea. I've literally just joined. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm blackballed.
I've not put a black ball in the box yet, but I might for Andy joining my chapter.
I have to join myself. I'm in the greatest chapter in the universe, but I'm also joining another chapter that's also held in very high regard. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We don't tend to visit side orders, although again talking about me,
it's a bit different, because obviously obviously because you've only been to your one meeting, so you don't know, but chapter setup at the moment is a little bit different to that of the craft, so the areas don't quite line up the same. So there could absolutely be an option for a few of the visiting groups in order to promote chapters in their area, but there wouldn't be a direct correlation to my area, currently the North Central, lining up with the North Central area of chapter, because they don't quite line up the same. But there's no reason why, if that's something that our members want to get some information about chapters or Mark Lodges or Rose Choir, any of the other major side orders, then that's absolutely something we could do. If they want us to promote their side orders, I don't see why we couldn't do that at all.
Yeah. I think there's an event coming up shortly, isn't there, over the summer in July? I think a pageant of masonry where I think the side orders are going to be represented. So,
fantastic!
Which will give people within craft to have a view of what else is out there.
Right. Yeah, on the lookout for that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sometimes those side orders could be a little bit obscure. And for non-Freemasons listening, chapter means the Royal Arch. It's the fourth step in craft Freemasonry, but that is fantastic that we'll have a fair just for the side orders, because I think they're very important.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it gives you the continuation of exploration for your Freemasonry as well.
Very real.
And what I wanted to ask you guys, any events or any meetings that have actually just been so memorable that you have to talk to them, have to talk about them here.
Absolutely. For me, there's a couple. I mean, every event we go to, every meeting that we attend is enjoyable, but there are some standout ones in particular. One in particular was February last year in 2023. We attended a lodge in Winchester called Caer Gwent, which they received an official visit from our area chairman, who was active senior Grand Warden for that year, and he attended the official visit, and I stumbled across some regalia that was given to me to sort out and distribute, donate to charity to, get some more money for the lodges and stuff. And within there, I found a past master's jewel for this lodge. And I looked at the date, and it was exactly 50 years prior to the installation that we were attending. And it just happened to fall that we were attending anyway. I had this, absolutely. I had this jewel, and I was like, well, if there's any time to return it to the lodge, it's when they install this new master at their official visit. So the North Circular sort of facilitated this option for me to be able to do that, which was very,
really fantastic,
fulfilling, and very nice to, to see that the lodge in shock when they had this jewel back from the brother that sadly passed away. They were, very happy to see it returned. So that was quite a nice one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So the ones that stand out for me as well are the ones where you get a slightly different ceremony, something a bit different.
Okay.
Obviously, we've got our standard ones we always go through, but there was one, and actually quite recently, where the Lodge of Humility had a ceremony of the empty chair performed by Wolsey Lodge. So again, it was like two lodges coming together to do something, and the ceremony of the empty chair is particularly poignant. It's around remembering those who have fought in war and given their lives in war, and it was around sort of November time we held it. It was a really poignant and very memorable evening. So sometimes it's nice just to get those different ceremonies and things you wouldn't normally get in your own lodges. So yeah, they're usually pretty good nights.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also, it hasn't really come up, and I think maybe we just start talking about it, is there's maybe a different lodge that we could all visit within our areas in our province, and is the Lodge of Instruction. I think that one is very interesting to visit, because it's not it's like it's a circular within the circular, to be frank. I've gone to the one in Eastleigh, and I met this whole set of new Masons that are local, but I have never seen them. And during the summer, I started going on Fridays, and I met these lads, Alex and Jack, and they happened to be from Lodge of Humility. And it was really cool then to do the empty chair ceremony, James and myself, in November. And they were there, and we were performing in their lodge, and it was just like a nice, connection to have. I'm like, I've been working with these lads, they've been working so hard in their roles, and then we get to do this there and come to that Masonic hall as well was really fascinating. What do you think that we get out of doing this?
I mean, the Lodge of Instruction is an excellent idea. It's, everything we do, we want to perform our ritual at the highest possible standards. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. So I think, like as Morgan was saying, the more you visit, the more you get to absorb and see it. And then the Lodge of Instruction kind of comes together, doesn't it? Where you get to like practice.
You get to practice and do something different, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's just we hit upon before the podcast about camaraderie.
Yeah,
right. That's the organic part of it. An example that I'll just never forget is I went to Netley Abbey Lodge maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I sat down with a brother. I think he was probably telling me he was, I think, 85.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting people I have met. And he joined the Navy at 18. And then his whole career in the Navy and also his journey within Freemasonry. And I just sat there throughout the entire festive board. My mouth was just shut because it's just an interesting man. Have gone, service within the armed forces and also service within Freemasonry. How freaking unique is that? When would I ever sit down with this person and hear their story and how it's just basically having a YouTube video on demand and having peering through the history of this person, but something that you're involved in the now, is quite powerful, I have to say. And then that's what the unique parts of visiting different lodges and also just seeing the different rituals and let's be honest, the different buildings, because they just vary so much from place to place, which I find it really cool.
Yeah, like you mentioned Eastleigh just now, it's beautiful. It's
a church.
It's a church. It's an old church. It's
gorgeous.
It's an amazing building. It really is. It's fantastic. I mean, each centre's got its unique features.
Yeah.
I mean, King's Court's got its wonderful staircase and the stained glass window. Winchester's got that fantastic sort of purpose-built lodge room downstairs.
Yeah.
They all bring their own different features, but it's great to get and sort of experience.
There's so many extrinsic and intrinsic things that come out of it. I mean, one of them was just like I was recommended the books.
Yeah.
How to create the perfect toast for festive board, and do you know about this? And that's how I found out about the circulars, just by visiting before I knew about visitation, right? So you get to find out like these little nuggets of information about Freemasonry, and that goes hand in hand of being a Freemason, right? So I don't think there is a way of having a lull in Freemasonry. Sometimes like the information is presented to you, and then sometimes you just gotta go find out about it, and it keeps the interest there. And I think that's quite unique in an organization like ours.
Yeah. I was told the other day, you just mentioning, Andy, about different Masonic centres that have different sort of distinguishing features. I was told at a couple of meetings ago, in fact it may have been at Chapter a few weeks ago, there's a lodge down in Southampton, I forget which one, where, and I'll skirt around it a bit because we have Masons who haven't yet completed their third degree and there are non-Masons listening, but one of the distinguishing features of the third degree that might appear on the floor during that ceremony, they actually have a real one.
Oh,
for use in the ceremony. Okay. Can you imagine how amazing that would be?
I know what you're talking about.
Is this the centre in Bristol?
Portsmouth.
So there's one in Bristol.
I would love to see that used in a ceremony. That must be amazing.
Okay.
And
Somewhere
terrifying.
in Portsmouth. I've never been. I've never seen it. But
I was told
heard
there was
lots
one
about
maybe
it.
in Hamble or somewhere in Southampton. But yes,
Well, let's hunt
down in the south coast somewhere, there is a lodge that actually has one built into its temple.
Fantastic.
That is really cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to shift gears because you guys said something about light blues. What are the light blues? What is it?
Yeah, so light blues, it's not that dissimilar from the North Sector, I guess, in that it's an informal grouping of Masons, but this is specifically for those who have yet to achieve provincial ranks. It's people who are sort of new and or young Masons. So the concept is we're all on a Masonic journey, but it's to share that journey with people at a similar stage to yourself.
Okay.
Like I said, it's great. I mean, Masonry is intergenerational. It's great to meet older members and people who really, know what they're talking about in terms of Masonry. But equally, it's great to spend time with people who are on that same sort of step as you. So it's just a chance to, again, meet like-minded people.
So they're parallel clubs. that join?
They kind of join, and they've got a similar path. Again, there's no cost to joining. It's just it's a mailing list. You get invited to stuff. We've got 3 key focuses. One is education.
Okay.
As a new and young Mason, as you say, you can help yourself. You can self-serve.
Yeah.
Not knowledge and buy books and go on Solomon. You can listen to amazing podcasts, and so education is a key thing. Everyone says, "I want to learn more. I want to understand structure, companion orders, and so on." The other element is charity.
Yes.
So we're a massive charitable organisation, and it's back to that question of scope and scale. If you bring lots of people together, you can achieve so much more. Get an example. One of our brethren in Lodge recently, he is a trustee at a local school that needed some support with gardening, and he managed to galvanise a whole group of people from multiple lodges to go and volunteer for the day. Stuff like that. If you really get that going, that cross lodge connection. You can really build that. And the final part is social events. So again, it's about having events. So each lodge has its own social events. This is not to replace those, but because a lodge social events has to appeal to a wide demographic in terms of age, they can have a certain focus that maybe new and younger Masons might want something a little more energetic, shall we say.
Yes.
So that's the focus, is to give that sort of outlet where you can meet similar people, enjoy, learn, do something charitable, and socialise together. So that's it in a nutshell.
Oh, fantastic. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit from the circular, because we all always share and all that, and I think that sometimes we do have some static age groups within Freemasonry. And coming back to Morgan, I just find it very interesting that you are a younger Mason, and I just wanted to touch upon that, because what led you to be a Freemason at such a young age? Because there are not many of you around.
There's not many of me that came in at 21. It's an interesting journey, really, and I can't really pinpoint the exact reason, other than the last thing that led me to inquiring was I watched the Welcome to Freemasonry TV show that featured on Sky back in almost 10 years ago now. I'd say 8 years ago. Yeah. So I watched that, and I was like, wow, I want to be a Freemason. This seems really fun. I was interested in just the whole camaraderie, always the bits that you don't know on the TV show. I wanted to find out more. The history especially was something that intrigued me. So at that point, at 18, I emailed someone, I don't remember who, just someone been put through via province, I guess. And unfortunately, I wasn't old enough at the time. If maybe nowadays I did it, it would have been old enough, as we've lowered the age to 18. So I waited a few years, and as luck would have it, one of my best friend's brother was a member of a lodge here in Chandler's Ford.
Wow.
And I said, well, I want to join. I've been wanting to join since I was 18. And there it was. Proposed. Had to wait a little bit, just out of, there was a bit of a queue to get into the lodge.
Yeah.
But once I was in, I, got the balls by the horn, as it were. The week after I was initiated, I went and visited a lodge in Chandler's Ford, saw the initiation straight away. I was like, I want to do more. And then we went into COVID-19 lockdown.
Ooh, okay, gotcha.
And then I sat for a few months just doing research and learning a bit more. And then as soon as we got back, just got running, really. Passed and raised pretty quickly, and have been trying to meet younger brethren and trying to get friends in and stuff like that since. But mostly, for me, it is just now that I'm in, my main reason for sticking around and enjoying it as much as I do is the complete reason is that you're stumbling a lot. There you go. The main reason is you meet lots of people, I've made so many great friends out of Freemasonry.
Yeah.
So many people that, I wouldn't have met in my day-to-day life, like a member of my lodge who turns 96 on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
He is a remarkable man. He just got 70 years in Freemasonry. He was presented a 70-year certificate by the Provincial Grand Master, and the conversations that I have with him, conversations that I've, have reached levels that I've never met with anyone else before. Just talking about his life and what he's done in 96 years is incredible. And then on the other hand, I've got other friends that, I go out with weekly now. I have a Masonic friend that I just met at, what was it, 250th anniversary for a lodge. He just came up to me and goes, "Oh, you're Morgan." I was like, I might be. And ever since, we've been inseparable. I spend so much time with this brother who, who's become a family friend. So
He's not in your lodge.
he's not in my lodge, no.
wow.
Just met someone completely random. We are in a lodge together now.
Okay.
We joined another lodge together, and he's currently senior warden and I'm junior warden in the lodge. So he will be installing me into the chair in a couple of years.
Oh, fantastic.
And I'm very much looking forward to it because he's basically a real brother now.
Yeah.
Or being my brother in Masonic terms,
Yeah.
he is a very good friend. And yeah.
And that's the whole point about like circular, right? Because the point I'm trying to make is circulate, because circulating just outside your lodge could just present to you just these wonderful opportunities in friendship and so many other aspects as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I really wanted to basically shed a light on your experience, because I think it's quite unique for someone so young to join this organization.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also about, you've been putting in, I don't want to call it the work, you've been putting in out of your own volition, just trying to find out more. But you've reaped these organic benefits just by being active and being curious and being open.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I think one of the most important words I think that we should have in Freemasonry is being open, right? Because as humans, sometimes we're very comfortable with and what we know and our lodge and our brethren. But if you open yourself just a little bit more, maybe once a year you go to a different lodge,
Once a month, maybe?
or once a month. Let's just say, sorry, I'm not helping the cause. Once a month, right? Because you could go every day to a different lodge, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But if you open your heart to different brethren, different experiences, you will gain so much more insight on so many things that you didn't know were possible in this organization as well.
Absolutely. You see so many different things, meet so many different people, and that's the best part of it, really, is
Yeah.
you'll go to one lodge and they'll use a different ritual book.
Yes.
That's really crazy to see, because you're like, no, they're getting all of these words wrong.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just doing something slightly different, and it is incredible to see. So
I visited a lodge earlier this year or late last year. I forget which one. It was a lodge at King's Court. I don't know which one it was. And they, when they say, "So mote it be," typically that's sung in lodge. This lodge said it. And when it came time to do it for the first time in the ceremony, my timing was slightly off and I missed the cue, so I didn't say it. Everybody else in the lodge knew that it was spoken, but the guy next to me didn't know and let loose in a wonderful baritone. So mote it be. And everybody in the lodge just went, "What?"
That is brilliant. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, looking forward to next year. What's going to be on the agenda for the North Circular? What have we got to look forward to? I think there's a big event coming up in January.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the key one, the big date for the diary in January is the Dine a Friend Beer and Curry Night, Winchester on the 27th.
27th of January.
Yeah,
Winchester Masonic Centre on the Alresford Road.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity to bring friends, family. Not necessarily, they're not necessarily wanting to join Masonry. They might just be curious, want to know.
They will by the time they leave.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, they might be saying, "What do you do in your meetings? What do you get up to?" You just say, "Well, come along and
Bring a friend."
You'll find out. You'll find out. You have a
exactly.
bit of food and a drink.
Be a nice night of camaraderie, right?
So that's a key event, I think, for everyone listening who's able to find someone to bring along.
across the province as well, not just in the North Central area.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
dine a friend evenings are vital to, keep us going.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can come to this Dine a Friend, they could join a lodge down in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Just because it's in the North Central doesn't mean come and join our area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the key is to share our experience, right?
Absolutely.
Our happiness, because that's what we do these events. We want to share what the positivity and the the really good stuff that we're doing with our fellow man, right? Friends or brothers, anyone that you think will be interested, you are more than welcome to bring them. And what else do we need? What do you want to say?
Well, next year for sure, we definitely just want to keep building on the success of the past 2 years. It's crazy that we've been going for 2 years now. And we just enjoy visiting 1 or 2 lodges every month and building on the numbers from the previous month. We have a mailing list of over 400 people now, and getting just a small percentage of those people to come and join us does all the difference to the lodges that we go and visit. We're visiting 2 lodges, maybe 3 in January, who are receiving official visits from our Assistant Provincial Grand Master. And there's.
Do you have any tips for, let's say, I'm really shy, man. I really want to go, but just go by myself.
The best part about it is at every North Circular meeting for sure. Either myself or Andy will be there most of the time, both of us. But one of us will always be there. And if you are, slightly shy, just look for somebody with a North Circular pin badge on and talk to them and say, hey, this is my first visit. I've not really been to this centre before. I don't know anyone. Anyone in Masonry, regardless if they've got a North Circular pin badge on, will embrace you, because that is what our organisation is. But more specifically, if you come to one of us that have a North Circular pin badge on, they'll point you to me and Andy. You can come sit with us and we'll, chat your ear off for the whole festival if you want.
And you have the bag of badges as well.
Yes.
So you can't see that badge and not want it. So
it is the best.
It is a great badge.
But I class myself as quite a shy person. Sometimes you'll often see me leave a busy room to go faff around somewhere, because I'm not the best conversationalist. But I get out of Masonry what I put in, and meeting these people and having new people attend, whether you're by yourself or not, is the lifeblood of our visiting group. So I would recommend anyone, if you are an entered apprentice that has just joined your lodge and you've heard about us, but there's no one in your lodge that's around to take you, come along. We'll show you how to do it. We'll show you anything that you might have forgotten from your initiation or anything. Make you feel comfortable, because that is what we're here for.
And it makes you feel comfortable socializing again, because
Absolutely.
Honestly, after COVID, I lost my social skills.
Yeah.
True story. I'll be like, oh man, I would have this fear of going by myself to some lodge meetings. I'm like, you know what? Now I feel so much more comfortable in social situations. It really did affect many people's social skills for a while, right?
Yeah.
And that's such a positive challenge, and what a safe space to do it in, right? So when it comes to joining any of the circulars,
how do they do it?
So when this podcast goes out, wherever you listen to it, there will be a social media post alongside it, most likely on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, wherever you get your local news. And alongside that, we're going to create a link that you can go on and you can put your email address, your name and your details in, and there'll be a tick box for you to sign up to any of the circular groups, any of the visiting groups in the province. And what we'll do is we'll forward your information, obviously when you tick the please forward my information button, to any of the other people that run those visiting groups. And then you'll start getting emails from, Rob down in South Central or Jeff over in the Southwest Tourists. Then that way you can visit across the whole province, and that way it's just, easy enough, I guess.
And as long as we remember, we will endeavour to put that link in the show notes to this episode.
We will put them down.
So as you're listening, scroll down the page and you'll find the link.
Andy, anything else that you want to add, or?
Just get involved. I mean, look out for notes about the Light Blues as well. There'll be social events, charitable stuff, and education events coming up. So look out for that too.
All right.
I look forward to seeing all of you there.
Well, Andy, Morgan, it's been fantastic to have you on the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been great. It's always a pleasure to spend time in your company.
Thank you very much. And we'll probably see you on one of the circular events as well.
Yeah, we'll be
Walk up to us.
In the new year.
Honestly, if you know how we look like, right? So, more than welcome to, guys.
Good to see you.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thank you so
See you
much.
soon.
All right, James, that was a fantastic interview with Andy and Morgan about the circulars around Hampshire Isle of Wight. So important, guys. Go ahead, join one, or join all four, actually, because you could go to any of them. It's free.
Yep. And if you want to join, check out the show notes for this episode, and you'll find the link to the form that Morgan mentioned just there in the interview about registering for your circular of choice. And don't forget as well, if you're in the North Central area, or indeed anywhere across the province, at the Winchester Masonic Centre on the 27th of January will be the Beer and Curry Dine a Friend Night. So come along, bring your friends, bring your family, bring a potential initiate if you know someone who's interested, and help them find out what it's all about. In January, Roddy, we've got a real treat coming up.
We do.
For the listeners. We're going to be joined by the Deputy Provincial Grand Master, the very worshipful Dave Purkis, who's going to join us from the Isle of Wight.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to close this episode. Just look down in the show comments. We will have the links for you to join any of the circulars here in Hampshire and Isle of Wight. And with that, we'll see you next time. James, over to you.
Yeah, so that's all for this episode, brethren. But as always, Roddy and I have been happy to meet
Sorry to part.
and happy to meet again. We'll see you in the next one.